Hello and welcome to Moon Maiden Tarot. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. Today we're doing a pick a card reading for what you need to hear right now. So you will be choosing from either of these three piles, and then we're going to be picking some messages from this bowl here. Okay, so today we're going to be using the Native American Tarot deck. And we're also going to be using the Moon Oracle Tarot deck. Okay, so on pile 1 we have the quartz crystal. On pile 2 we have the rose quartz. And on pile 3 we have citrine. Okay, I'm just going to give you a minute to meditate on either of those three piles. Decide which one resonates with you on the message you need to hear right now. Okay, and if you do not want to do the meditation, feel free to skip ahead by looking at the timestamps in the description below. Okay, so let's get started with group number 1. Group number 1. Okay, so I'm going to get started on looking at the Native American Tarot deck. So first we have the Corn Maiden, which is otherwise known as the High Priestess. So this means that your higher self is telling you it's time to just take a chance, take a risk, and go with your gut. Go with what you are feeling right now. Okay, and you might be seeing a lot of synchronicities around you or receiving messages in your dreams. So it's time to listen to them. And it's okay for you to slow down and ask yourself what you really want right now. Okay, and here we have the 8 of Vessels or Indolence, which is also known as the 8 of Cups. So this means that you're actually being lazy and avoidant. You need to connect more with nature and your inner self. So you need to cut off people or negative habits in your life that have developed. And because you have the Corn Maiden here, that means that your higher self or your spirit guides are going to help you do that. Okay, so don't ignore the signs that they're giving you. And I know this is kind of a scary card, the Devil, but this can actually be a really positive thing. So it looks as though you're kind of in a low vibrational frequency right now because you're doing things that are not healthy for you. And it's probably time for you to get rid of those feelings or stay away from the people or things that are making you not happy. Okay, so if you're going on social media too much, stop going on social media. If you're, getting advice from people who don't have your best interest at heart, maybe it's time to stop asking them for advice or just distance yourself from them for a while and see how your energy changes. That's a good test to see if they are true friends or not, is just to give yourself a break. And you don't have to be, outright rude about it or anything. You can just say, hey, I'm just focusing on me right now. Or you can just slowly stop talking to them. You don't have to ignore them, but you can just take some time for yourself. And again, your higher beings are protecting you through this. So you're going to be protected. And then you're going to have to take the high road in this situation. And unfortunately, this energy that you are, allowing yourself to be surrounded with this negative energy, your spirit guides are giving you a nice push to say that you deserve better than that. And you're not alone. We're here with you. We're here to guide you. And they want to give you some tough love in that way, okay? So they see you as you're hurting yourself by doing whatever these things are. And it's time to walk away from them. It's time to change those behaviors or those relationships, okay? So your spirit guides are telling you to just let go of those feelings, let go of the negative self-talk, whatever it is that has been holding you back lately. And once you do, you'll feel so much happier and you'll be able to be a more truer and livelier and heightened version of yourself. And you'll really be able to connect on a deeper level with other people when you do decide to start reaching out again, whether with those same people or not. Probably not, is what I'm getting. But probably then you'll be able to make true relationships and people who are your soul tribe, people who have your best interest at heart. Okay, so then we go over here to the 10 of Pipes, Mockery, or the 10 of Wands in the traditional deck. So this is saying, don't worry about what those people and what, the social media and even what your own negative thoughts are. Don't worry about what society thinks of you. Okay, those are the external parts and those fade away. But your consciousness and your inner spirit, those things are forever. So that's what you really need to focus on connecting on right now. That's what I'm getting from these 4 cards here. Okay, so you have to connect and you'll really free yourself. Truly, okay? So this is like getting back to the basics, Take this time to self-reflect and do things that you used to do when you were a child, when you were a kid and things weren't so complicated. And, maybe over time you distance yourself from those things that really made you happy, your true passions, because you were so afraid of what everyone would think of you that you kind of built this persona that's, it's almost like a mask. It's not even really you. And that's why you're feeling so lost right now. And your spirit guides are saying, we know who you really are, and it's time for you to walk away from this type of energy. It's time for you to let your guard down, reflect in your inner world. Let your guard down to yourself, okay? You need to connect to your inner self more, okay? And so some advice that I would give to you based on these 4 is you can, again, do things that you were passionate about when you were younger, when you didn't care what other people thought about you, okay? So in a way that you can express yourself in a healthy way. So you can paint a picture, you can watch, like a silly show that maybe other people would have made fun of you for, you're embarrassed about it. Who cares? Watch that show, okay? Find time for you. Journal, meditate, do lots of meditative and reflecting work and practices at this time, okay? You can like get back into music if you're into music, or there's certain songs or bands that you like that people would make fun of. Who cares? You know, listen to them now. Really let your inner self shine through. Okay, and you can work through this, like I said, with journaling or writing. It doesn't have to be about your own life. You can make up things, you can write poetry. I even find sometimes that cooking, you know, cooking for yourself, cooking a meal that you really enjoy, that you would only make just for you. That's your, you know, your guilty pleasure food. Okay, be imaginative with this, be creative. And if you're not sure what that thing is, then you need to look in more. You know, you need to take a break from the external things more and just sit by yourself sometimes. Just sit in silence. You don't need to be like, okay, I'm scheduling this time for meditating right now. You can just, you know, go on in a room on your own and just start writing things down, or just, you know, think about some past memories that you had when you were younger, things that you really love to do. Okay, so now we're going to get up into the oracle cards here. Okay, so we have the bridge, or the number 6. Okay, so here it is talking about this deep communication, and it's linked with this corn maiden card right here of this is like you connecting with your higher self. Okay, this card is a reflection of that, and it's actually the two planets, Venus and Mercury, communicating with each other. Okay, they have this deep communicative relationship. And you can see there's a flower that's budding in between them, it just beautifully there, and the blue moon in the back. This is you connecting with your higher self. This is you doing that deep inner work, okay? And it's also in a red pot. This is like your root chakra. That's what you need to be focusing on and activating right now, okay? So you might be feeling kind of depressed lately, but your higher self is saying, listen, this is the perfect time to reconnect with your inner child, okay? So this picture of the two figures here, one with the short hair, one with the long hair, I'm seeing this as like, this is the empowered one. This is the mature one who's reaching back to the younger one. So you can be both of these figures in this picture, okay? So you can be the younger one, or the younger one reaching to your spirit guide and your higher self, or you can be the older one. This is you now reaching back to that inner child and who you used to be and all the passions that you used to have, okay? So that's what I'm seeing from this card. And like, you know, the question that came up for me is, you know, what would you do if you had $1 million, right? That's the type of mentality I'm getting here. So the universe is telling you, whatever you could do if you had all the money in the world, what would you do? What's your passion? And whatever it is, do that. Okay? The universe has your back. And it doesn't matter what, you know, the external things are. Everything will fall into place if you just listen to your inner self. Okay? And all the resources, all the funds, everything that you need will just fall into place. But this is the first step that you need to take in order to do that. Okay, now we're going to look at the confession card, number 23. So this is a representation of the indolence. Okay, it's crazy how these actually, I laid these out beforehand because I needed to understand how this was all going to connect together, and this is how it was laid out when I initially shuffled these decks and laid these cards out. And so these two are connected, and these two, it's crazy how they actually are so reflective of one another, and it's like this story that tells you everything. Okay, so the confession card, this is the indolence. This, I'm getting, it's either social media influence or it's the people in your life, because this here is like gossiping. Okay, so again, you can be one or the other. You can be the one doing the gossiping, or you can be the one taking it in and internalizing it. Now, I think you're actually the one on this side. That's just how I'm feeling. You're the one who's taking it in. You can see this tree here is even all covered in lips. Okay, so this represents like scandal and gossip, and you have a black moon in the back. So it's like, it's a negative energy. And again, it's kind of like within this root chakra, and that's what's consuming you right now. This is your blockage. And you need to disengage with this, okay? Even if it's your friends, if it's random people online, it's not worth it right now, okay? Or ever, really. It's just something you need to be aware of, okay? And once you do that, you'll feel so much better, I promise. Okay, so we're going to move on to Ishtar. So this is, again, connected with this here card, the Devil, meaning that this is the transformation. Okay, the Devil is more so about transformation. Okay, in the Native American culture, what happened with their buffaloes, they went extinct, right? There was a transformation in their complete way of life, and that's why it's represented with this buffalo. The buffalo is not an evil figure within itself, but it represents transformation. Okay, so it's not a negative thing, it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. Okay, so we go to Ishtar. So this is saying, be flexible and willing to adapt to yourself in this time. Okay, so don't be too hard on yourself, for even letting yourself get in this situation. It happens. That's life, right? And this is a very powerful figure. Okay, she is a warrior and a lover. Okay, and you need to take the best of both those energies. Okay, you need to be confident in the way you love yourself. Okay, and whatever you decide, you must do it with conviction. Okay, so whatever you decide for your passions, you have to do it in a way where you're doing it for you. Okay, you're taking the high road and leaving this behind. You're not doing it out of revenge or, to avenge any kind of this situation. You're just doing it purely out of love for yourself, self-love. You're doing it to be happy. Okay, and this could be, an uncomfortable thing. This is like a spiritual journey that you're on, and you're becoming more enlightened. And when you become more enlightened, you actually become more uncomfortable with certain things, okay? And that's normal. It's okay, it's okay to feel vulnerable. But remember to always, be kind to yourself throughout this process, okay? And actually, I have found that this is actually something that's closely linked to the month of March. So maybe you are already taking these steps. Maybe you already are moving away from this, energy. And that's good. And keep at it, keep going. Your spirit's here to tell you you're connected deeply and you don't need this anymore. This is you, This is you. That's what I see. This is you. This is who you're going to become. And because of this situation, you're going to be a better person. You're going to learn from that and be a much better person. Okay, then we move to Guru, 27. So this is like you letting what happens because of this transformation, if you're in a negative headspace or negative people, especially over here, they're going to try to pull you back down. And you're better than that. And you're not even going to let it phase you. You don't need it, and you're not even mad. You just kind of, like the Buddha, you let it in and you let it out, just like you with your breath. So it's like water off the duck's back. It's not going to affect you anymore. This stuff is not going to bother you, what people think of you or how you dress or how you act. That's not going to even phase you anymore, because you have enlightened yourself from that situation. And you're going to use these tools that you're going to find through this transformation within yourself, those passions that you have when you were a kid. You're going to use those types of tools and this inner work to become this enlightened, carefree type of person. You see there's a red moon in the back, so that means you're reaching like a higher energy level of yourself, and this doesn't happen very often. That's what I'm getting, like a red moon, that doesn't come around very often. So you need to do that work, because this energy is not going to be around forever. You just need to put in those efforts. You need to take time for you in order for this to happen. And you're not going to have this situation all the time, right? And the isolation and everything. So take advantage of it. All right. And then these birds are like the spiritual enlightenment. They're lifting you up. Okay. So you have to start with spiritual guidance and to end with spiritual enhancement. Okay. So it's your time to escape and dig into yourself. Okay. Your true passions. And you'll channel those just naturally when you get to this phase. And this is going to just be almost laughable. What you even how you used to think. You're going to look back at your old self and just realize how much growing you did in such a short amount of time. Okay, group number 1. What do you need to hear right now? One more. Take the plunge. Okay, so take this time to break that karmic cycle. Don't look back. Okay, and once you do, it's gone. You don't have to repeat it anymore. You're gonna be free. It's gonna feel so good. Okay, cut it out. Stop with the negative self-talk. Stop with the negative people in your life. You are free. Look at that. I said that. And when you don't look back, you're going to be free. Okay? I like this order of it. And you are divine. Okay? So you are that guru. You are Ishtar. You are that energy. So you need to cut it out. Take the plunge. Don't look back after you break that karmic cycle. You will be free. You are free. You're already on your way. And you are divine. Cut it out. Take the plunge. Don't look back. And you are free. You are divine. Okay, so you need to cut it out. You need to stop giving into these negative self-talk and the negative people that you surround yourself by and the energy. cut it out, okay? Take the plunge. It's time to break the karmic cycle. You can do it. You know that you need to do this to be happy, okay? And then don't look back. You don't need to look back anymore. After you finally do this work, you will be free. You are free. You're free from it. And it's going to be the most relieving feeling in the world. And it's important because you are divine. Don't forget. Don't you forget it. Okay, so that's it for reading number 1. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like and subscribe so I can keep doing these readings. And I really, really like doing this actually. So I hope that you come back and you learn some more. And comment down below, let me know if this resonated with you, if this was something that you felt you needed to hear right now. Okay, so thank you. Group number 2. So, first of all, we have the Union, the 2 of Vessels, or in the traditional deck, the 2 of Cups. And this is in reverse. Okay, so this means that you're a little bit too much in your head, into yourself. Okay, so I also see that there's some kind of disharmony or imbalance that's happening right now. And moving on to the Matriarch of Vessels, or the Queen of Cups, also in reverse, this is telling me that it's an emotional imbalance that you have. You're not quite all that emotionally mature right now. You could be a little bit too insecure about some kind of relationship. And it can just be the relationship within yourself. It can also be some kind of a codependent behaviors that you have that you need to work through. So this is some kind of blockage that's happening in your life right now. And then moving on to the Justice card, this is telling me that you're going to rise above this situation. And I actually see this as almost like a karmic cycle. You're in some kind of like a negative karmic cycle that you just keep repeating. And this Justice card tells me that it's going to be ending soon, actually, which is a really, really good thing. And you have to decide now what you want to manifest. You don't want to be continuing to put out negative energy and continuing to be in this negative headspace when this justice time period comes around, because it's not going to be something you're going to be able to complete then. And actually what I'm getting then, if we move on to the Hermit card, is that you need to spend some time right now alone and getting some me time to really focus in and hone in on what kind of emotional imbalance you have in your life. And I see this as like a long-term kind of traumatic cycle that you're working through. And it's, like I say, very important that you take time for yourself right now. And I mean, due to our current situation, you can take advantage of that you can allow yourself to have this time on your own. Instead of continuing in this kind of like almost self-loathing, self-pity type of energy, you can truly do some self-reflection and figure out what similar behaviors you keep doing. You might not even be aware that you're doing them, which is why it's so important to take this time to yourself right now to completely end this karmic cycle right here. And when you do, it's going to be extremely, extremely helpful for you. Okay, looking at the 4 card here, the 4 of pipes, which in the traditional deck is the 4 of wands. And we can see here it means honor, and it's in the upright, okay, which is a great thing. That means that, you know, you're going to be satisfied with this outcome. You're going to be extremely happy with how things finally shift from this karmic cycle. It's ending. It's ending, okay? These 3 cards are telling me this is ending, which is really, really good. Yeah, like I say, you're going to have to do some inner work to really figure out where this trauma is coming from, you know, what kind of situations trigger it, and really digging at the root of the disharmony, the emotional disharmony, the emotional trauma that's coming up. And I'm seeing it as something it's not recent. It's something that's been happening for a long time. It can be a childhood trauma. It can be something from your distant past, of a way that you view yourself in not a healthy or positive way. And then that's interfering with the types of relationships that you have. You know, the relationships you have with your partner or spouse, with your family, friends, even with your coworkers and your boss. You're kind of stuck in this cycle right now. And you're moving out of it though, which is great. This is so amazing. Sometimes it can take, you know, like a lifetime for someone to get through a karmic cycle. So this is really good news that you're going to be moving out of this if you take the time to do it. Like I say, you need to be self-reflective right now in this time period for this to truly be resolved. And it's going to end in a really positive outcome. You know, you're going to live your life with more integrity and respect, and people are going to look at you as someone who has really grown and matured as a person. Yeah, you're really going to have to also like humble yourself in this situation and look at the things that, you know, you've been doing wrong, or you've been looking at things wrong. It's kind of like twisting the mirror a little bit to see like a different perspective of this situation, and you're gonna reap so many great rewards from that insight. And you will be almost like a completely different person. You won't have this disharmony anymore, and you're going to cure this. And your relationships are going to be way more meaningful, and you're going to respect yourself so much more. So even within this picture, this is like, you know, representing that it takes way more strength and courage to do the right thing, to sit down with people from another culture than you and share their insights. So this is like when you're doing your reflective work, like it's hard for anybody to look within themselves and ask, you know, what am I doing wrong, or what am I seeing that's wrong? And it's really, what I'm getting is it's just the way that you view yourself in a negative way that needs the healing. It's easier to like be mean to yourself. For some reason in our society, like that's what's perpetuated, is like it's so easy for us to be so critical of ourselves in a negative way. Just like this card represents, like it's harder to find, the positive things even about yourself and to emphasize them and to view things from a different perspective. It's so much easier to criticize another worldview or another perspective because it's unknown. It's easier to do that, but it takes a lot of honor and courage and integrity to allow yourself to be open-minded enough to see things from a different perspective. And like I say, that's going to earn you so much more respect within your personal life, within your relationships, within your community. And you're really just going to blossom as a person throughout this. So this is a really good news, okay? Looking at our moon cards now. Okay, so here is the sacrifice card, right? Okay, so we see this woman and she's completely naked. She's been stripped of everything, right? But yet she's sitting on this like really plush cushion, and the sky behind her is red, but the moon is completely blacked out. Okay, so this actually represents that you're feeling like just drained. You might even be feeling a little bit depressed right now because of this disharmony that you have within yourself. Outside you might have all these passions and you might be lashing out or being really overemphasizing the fact that you are feeling really kind of empty and lacking within. That's what the dark moon is like. Your inner self and your inner world is lacking right now. There's a void, there's a hole there. But on the outside, representing the sky, you actually have so many passions and you have so much to give. However, because of this disharmony and the way that you are feeling emotionally and the karmic cycle that you're in, you're feeling incredibly vulnerable. Like you've given this everything. So this is lining up with the disharmony that I'm seeing. Okay, you're being too vulnerable maybe with others, but not with yourself. All right, and then we're going to look at the precipice. Okay, and this represents like spontaneity and making reckless decisions without really thinking about the consequences. Okay, so maybe you act in a certain way because you think it's the right thing to do, but you're just doing it because that's how you think other people perceive that that's the right choice, even if it's not the right choice for you. And so it's like you do something because someone else maybe pressured you into doing that thing, but really it's not giving you the fulfillment that you need or you feel deep within yourself. You're just not thinking clearly right now because of this inner turmoil that you have. You really need to dig deep at this time and think about what it is that's causing the disharmony, that's causing you to act this way and feel this way. Okay, so then we're going to look at the gibbous or the passion. So you're going to know what the right decision is almost right away as soon as you take the time for yourself and do the self-reflective work. It's going to be really evident of where the karma is coming from and what you need to do to move past it. So the process might be kind of uncomfortable right now, and that's okay. That means that you're reaching a higher level of enlightenment and self-fulfillment. And these passions that you have, right? The red sky that you have, you're finally going to be putting it where it needs to go. And it's crazy. Yeah, right here, it's almost like that's the dark part of you and it's turning. It's finally that light is being shed within you and you're going to blossom and it's the new beginning. It's a budding of a new beginning, a new way of moving on from this negative karmic cycle onto the newer, better version of you, which is great. And then we look at the balsamic or concession. So this is that time when you realize that you have to give up a certain power, maybe a certain way that you saw yourself. Okay, but it's a humbling experience, you know. It's going to allow you to reach this state of honor and integrity, for you to go, okay, these were the things that led me to this negative karmic cycle, and now I know, and this is what I have to do in order to be honorable about how I move forward with my life now. And there might be some kind of negotiations that have to happen here in order for you to reach this state, and they might be with other people. You might have to have some conversations that are, again, like a little uncomfortable, but they're going to shed light on something that is so enlightening and great for you long term. And it's not a negative thing. It's going to end in a really positive, happy outcome. And it's like, opening the door or opening the passageway of like a dam or something. Like at first, the first bit is going to be hard to do, but as soon as you get that crack, that little bit coming through, it's just going to rush through, and all the positive energy and all the positive things are going to manifest in your life, and it's going to be such an easy flow and an easy process once you allow yourself to do the self-reflective work and to really be honest with yourself and humble yourself and not always have control of the situation. Let it go. And there's a freeing energy about that, about not having control. You can't, control other people. You can't control how other people view you, or sometimes just how a situation is gonna pan out. Like, you can't control everything, but you can control your reaction to things and the way that you view yourself. And that's what's really important right now. You can control the inner workings, and those are really the most important things, right? Like your energy, your inner energy and your consciousness, that's what moves on. That inner work is what's the most important thing. That's what gets carried on into the next life, into the next body, into the next experience. And becoming more in sync with that is going to give you so much freedom and rewards in this life. And that's an amazing thing. And that's a great outcome. Okay, group number 2. What are your messages for what you need to hear right now? One more. Love yourself. You got this. You are enough. The universe got you. Creation is key. Okay, so you are enough. You don't have to give yourself any more. You don't have to feel like you are emotionally drained. Okay, you are enough just being you. Okay, love yourself. Just love yourself. You are so worth it. You got this. You can do this. Self-reflection is good. And it's going to make you better in the long run. The universe got you. Everything's going to work out the way it's meant to. And just let things fall the way they will. Don't force it. Creation is key. So when you're doing your self-reflection, maybe be creative with it. Write a story, write a poem, make some art, a painting maybe. That's what's going to help you get through this. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this. Please comment down below and let me know if this resonates with you and if you enjoyed this reading. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out my channel. Okay, now we're moving on to group number 3, which is the citrine. Okay, so group number 3. And for your deck, there wasn't very much for the tarot cards, but there was a lot for the oracle cards. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I had these in the right order. There was a lot of oracle cards that came out when I was shuffling this deck, so I'll put that up there. Going to start with the tarot cards. So we have the 10 of Shields, Harvest, or the 10 of Coins in the traditional deck. So this is a really good card to have. So this means that you're doing really great financially or in some type of relationship with your family, or both. Okay, so you're feeling close to your family right now, and it's time to embrace some of those old school traditions. You know, since we're in isolation right now, you can learn to do some, things with your family, like traditional, cooking or games or sayings or something that comes from your ancestral lineage. Get connected deeper with your family if you aren't already. And if you are, get even deeper with them, ask questions about, your great-grandparents or your grandparents or, people in your family line. Your ancestors are, reaching out to you, and if you take an interest in them, it's going to be beneficial for you. From what I'm seeing in the rest of your spread here. So you expect, that if you aren't already connecting with your family, then expect that to be something that's going to be happening. A little knowledge on something is a dangerous thing. So you want to get to know something about your family more. Okay, that's what I'm getting from this card. Then we have the Warrior of Blades, or the Knight of Swords in the traditional deck. So this is telling me that you're extremely skilled in your field, or you're active, you can be subtle and clever. You're really good at what you do. I'm getting like business wise or skill wise. You, this also means that there's some big changes coming forward, okay? Moving forward, I should say. So it's time to seize the moment or that opportunity. Okay, you're very quick-witted, which is good, but it can sometimes appear to be insensitive. You're also a natural leader and a risk taker, which is good, you know, business-wise. So financially, this is looking very good, okay? And, you know, people respect you for your candidness and your leadership skills. Okay, you can also be very daring and adventurous, which may be hard for you right now because you can't do those things and you're stuck inside. Okay, and that's okay. You have to find a way to use your abilities while you're at home. We'll get into that a bit more with the oracle cards. So here we have the Journey, or the Six of Blades, Six of Blades, which is Six of Swords in the traditional deck. So you're bound for a journey, okay? And a journey isn't always something that's physical. You're not gonna be traveling anywhere anytime soon, I hope. But you're probably gonna be going on more of a spiritual journey, you know, an emotional and a mental type of journey. So you're going to be doing some soul searching in order to gain more pleasure out of your life, since you're stuck at home and you can't do these things at this time. Okay, and so there's going to be a larger expansion taking place on all levels, so like mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional. You're going to be you're going to be expanding all of those ways for yourself when you take this reflective time. And the problems you had before will calm down and you'll be more stable. Okay, and your spirit guides will help you and find that inner peace to help you push through what might feel like a lethargic or really boring period of your life, because this is you. You're like really adventurous, you're like quick-witted, you're intelligent, you know, are good at what you do, is what I'm hearing. But maybe you aren't able to do that right now because of your current situation. So you need to dig deep down within you and find ways you can still be, you know, yourself in the current situation that you find yourself in. Because you can still, you know, come up with creative ways to do your business maybe, or reach out to other people. You can still do this in a creative way. And if you take those steps, you're going to have a more fulfilling life overall. Okay, so the sword here means the bonds that you have are going to increase significantly. Okay, so even if you're social distancing right now and you're not able to be like your outgoing, extroverted self, you're still going to be able to find ways to connect with people, and it's going to make your bonds even stronger. Okay, and on the flip side of that is that maybe you're staying with your family and it's starting to drive you a bit crazy, and which is completely understandable. But you have to, you know, be mindful of the way that you're spending this time with them, because this really is a gift. Like, this time frame, there's people I've seen online who, like, both parents have seen their kid take their first steps for the first time, you know, and it's like, normally there's maybe one parent home who's like recording that and the other one has to watch it on video, and now it's like you can actually be present with your loved ones and the people in your life. And even though, like, tensions might be high at home and you might be feeling, you know, there's heated debates and stuff. And that's like kind of what these snakes and the swords represent. If you're able to still, like, you know, focus on who you are and what you, the types of things that you enjoy doing, you can still be creative and do those things. And it's going to make people respect you even more and want to hang out with you after this is all done even more. Okay, and then we move on to weddings. So you're feeling compelled to do something that's right based on societal expectations, okay? So like staying in social isolation during this event, which is a good thing. So the wedding card isn't necessarily about an actual wedding or love or anything like that. It just means that you're sticking to, you're conforming to society. That's what this means, okay? Then we go to investment. So you might be feeling compulsive and excited about it, having a large amount of creative energy, and that's good. That's a good thing. It means maybe you should, you know, be starting a project by yourself at home, and you can do this while you're in isolation and be creative with it. You know, use your skills and abilities to invest time in yourself. And maybe, you know, it could be a type of investment. It doesn't have to be financial necessarily, where you're like, say, investing in the stock market, but you could be investing in taking like a free class right now. There's so many classes that are available that you could gain a new skill, a new ability, a new way to improve yourself. You know, if you ended up getting laid off, say, because of all of this, it might be a chance for you to save money because you're inside and you're not doing anything, and focus that time on learning a new skill, learning a new language, learning a computer program, learning whatever it may be. Take the time to do that, because it's going to help you channel your passions, and it's going to help you get to the stage where you're a more enhanced, you know, version of yourself, because you can maybe start putting some of the ideas and things into practice that you've been wanting to do for a while. Okay, and then we go to dual. So like same thing as before, you kind of having like this pent up energy, you know, at home. And maybe you're fighting even within yourself about what you want to do. And it's actually like a healthy type of aggression. And it's just going to help you spark that creativity and make you move into a passion project in that much of a better, healthier way. Okay, you might be even like get some advice from your family on some of the ideas that you have, and launch some of them. You know, do pilot projects and get some constructive feedback so you can improve what you want to do moving forward. So then when we're done with this whole phase, you can come out and hit the ground running, you know. And so just be aware that these other people, whether they're your family or friends or whoever, aren't there to break you down, you know, or make you feel bad about yourself or your ideas. They're helping you focus on what's important and, you know, take their advice to heart. And, you know, I've heard that the most successful people, particularly those who take the creative arts, for example, like going to film school and stuff, there's these massive film schools, especially in the United States. And I've heard people ask their instructors, you know, how can you tell which person's going to be successful compared to those who aren't? And the professor, the instructor said, the people who take advice from their peers and use it. Okay, so whatever advice you're getting, it's to help you. It's not to make you look bad or feel bad. It's to help you. It's coming from a loving place. And if you implement them, your business or your project or whatever it is that you're wanting to do is going to be that much better in the end. Okay? So don't get Don't fight back with them. It's a positive type of, like dialogue that's going to happen here, and allow that to happen. It's good. It's a good energy. Okay, then we get to volcano. We see here there's like a full moon in the trees here. So maybe that's by the time you're going to be ready for all of this. And if you haven't done something to invest your time to, talk to your friends and family, to make sure you're still conforming to the current situation of what's happening in our society, you're going to have this pent-up energy is going to explode. Okay, just like a volcano. And so you don't want that to happen. So either if you don't take care of it by then, it'll be a not good thing. But if you do take care of it by then, you can see this is like it's in a tree, and it's resembling that growth. The growth and the start of a new beginning that's going to be very beneficial for you. Okay, so use that energy and channel it into a good thing. So build your resources, build your network at this time, and when everything's settled, you can erupt like the volcano instead of having the volcano erupt on you. This is a very powerful energy, and it's just part of the passions that you have that you need to channel into whatever kind of passion project you have. Okay, and then we have the adaptability. So this includes, the gathering intel, using this unique situation to bounce ideas off of people. Now, people don't have that same excuse of they're busy or they don't have time. Take advantage of that. Ask them, ask for their true advice on something, and don't just ask for their advice and then argue with them about it. That's not why they gave you feedback. They gave you feedback to help you. So when you get that feedback, use it. Adapt your idea and reshape whatever project you're working on based on their advice, because they didn't have to give you advice. They didn't have to help you, and you need to respect that they helped you by taking the advice, and that's going to help your project be much better in the end. Okay, and yeah, like I said, communication might seem like it's hindered now, but find ways to be creative with it. Reach out, in unique ways, and the bonds that you build will be stronger now anyways, because again, people are more focused on, I think, what they're doing. They're not doing a million things now because we're all stuck inside. So they might, take advantage of this situation, because they might be able to give you a more full and focused and present energy that they wouldn't normally be able to give you if they were, working full time, taking care of their kids, running from here to there and everywhere else, because they're not doing that right now. And you can take advantage of that in the best possible way. Then we get to the crescent. So again, this is idea, sorry. So yeah, it's like this is the new beginning of something that is going to end up being really positive for you. So you're going to be feeling, like these passions. There's going to be an uneasiness almost of like how much pent-up energy you have, and that's good. Use it as a time to create new beginnings. Invest in yourself, invest in your idea, and explore those things fully. Make a list or write it down, or get it out and get advice. Talk to other people about it. Don't be afraid to share your ideas. And when you do that and you morph it, this adaptability, it's going to become the best version that it can for that time, which is awesome, because like I said, people who are successful at what they do take advice from others and implement it. And so whatever your idea is, it's a good idea. But don't be too cocky because it's not the best idea or the greatest idea yet. You need to use your network and you need to do all these other things to really kick it off into hyper speed. So do your research, talk to other people, and everything will work out. And this is a really positive reading, actually. Like, I just kept shuffling and shuffling, and nothing was coming out of this deck. So it was all in the oracle cards, pretty much. And it's very much based around the moon cycle, because it's the moon oracle, right? And so, like I said, pay attention to this full moon, because it's linked with this volcano, and that's going to be a critical time for this. It might be the peak time of when this can really kick off. Okay, group number 3. Be cautious. Okay, don't let your passions get the best of you. Live it up. This opportunity only comes once in a lifetime. Enjoy it. You are protected. You have your family to protect you. And if not, your close friends who are like family. And also, and always, your higher self. Slow down. Remember to be cautious of the passion that you have. Not everyone's at the same level. So be patient with them. Work on those relationships. Use the time to understand how, even from a sort of HR perspective, how different people work, and how if it is like a business venture that you end up going down, you have to remember that all people work differently, and always coming at it from your approach isn't going to be what's going to make you successful. It's going to be being able to adapt to what other people want or how other people react and accept things. Baby steps. Okay, so this is a new project. It's not going to happen overnight, but you will start the process. And the foundation, I think, is what's key. So if you can lay down a solid foundation at this time and be slow and mindful about it, take it one step at a time, one day at a time, it's going to be amazing. And you're amazing. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much for being here. Please comment down below and let me know if you like this reading. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support means everything to me, and I really hope you come back and check out my channel again. Okay, thank you so much. Until next time. Bye.